Hi there, Sagittarius. Thank you so very much for tuning in. This is your mid-September reading. Thank you for your patience with it. Let's get right into it. Sagittarius, I was meditating on your energy and I was hearing sticky fingers, okay? There's something perhaps about typing, lots of writing, lots of communicating. Okay, and you're a very communicative sign to begin with, Sagittarius. Okay, but I'm hearing to Gemini for a number of you as well. These three cards would come up beautifully. You have the Ten of Swords in reverse. Okay, the Lovers upright, Dead Setter smack dab in the middle between the Ten of Swords in reverse and the Mother of Swords upright. Now, Pisces got the Lovers and the Mother of Swords, but Pisces got the Ten of Wands. So there is some overlap between Pisces, absolutely. And Scorpio as well, but I'm hearing Cancer for you, and Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces have been having some sort of ongoing relationship through the readings here that I've been doing for mid-September. But nonetheless, the Chariot in reverse, overlaying the Hierophant upright, overlaying the Nine of Pentacles upright. Scorpio pulled the Hierophant and the Chariot. Pisces also pulled the Chariot, and let's see, it is, yeah, I believe it was Scorpio that pulled the Nine of Pentacles as well. Okay, now not necessarily together here, not together, but we'll keep that. Let's see what's going on with you, Sagittarius. I'm hearing Capricorn as well. Capricorn has been speaking out for almost every single sign. Capricorn has a lot to say here. Now, some interaction happening between the Hierophant, that's Taurus's card in the Major Arcana deck, and the Mother of Swords, who's standing almost on guard right outside of this Lover's card. Okay, the Lovers are almost like flying into the Mother of Swords. Both strong air energies, all three of them birds, right? The Lovers is Gemini's card, and Gemini was coming through for you. Aha. Okay, let's see. Capricorn, Cancer, Scorpio, all coming out for you. Okay, but Sagittarius. I'm hearing it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm hearing in the park, something about the park, okay? Referencing the park, whatever that may mean to you, but, okay. The moon, Capricorn pulled the moon as well. Okay, and the Son of Pentacles, yes. Was it Scorpio? The lines are so blurred, Okay, it's almost like a nebulous sort of Neptunian feeling, okay? But nonetheless, these two cards came out in strong dichotomy to one another, but also unison. I believe it was in Capricorn's reading. Okay, now, there is a dichotomy of forces, okay, that almost like they need to abide by each other. They just need to see each other through. Son of Pentacles, the moon, completely sort of opposing energies, as you may see it, as you may feel it, however you regard it. At the same time, it's like, well, wait a second, the Son of Pentacles is being guided by the moon, right? It's like, if it weren't for the moon, the Son of Pentacles would be, right, ramming its antlers into the trunk of a tree. Like, the Son of Pentacles, the moon is a saving grace in a certain way. So there's this recognition of polarity, but they've kind of got their backs to one another if we're regarding this moon as an individual, okay, or a certain propensity. Now, be it two propensities within you, be it you and another individual, okay, but I'm hearing Cancer for you, and this is, the moon rules Cancer, and you have the Chariot, which is Cancer's card in the Major Arcana. Now, okay, you have the Six of Wands, sitting right at the corner, wedged right at the left-hand corner of your spread. You have here a ringing bell. Okay, it's time. I'm hearing to peek through the brush, okay, strongly, and as it pertains to the Six of Wands, something to do with transformation, and it's almost like this is the escape hatch, okay, it's like literally just this butterfly is flying out of the spread, okay, and almost like out the window, right, and we're referencing this just as the bell's going off, so take it as you will, Sagittarius. But you have here as well the Seven of Cups. You've got it in reverse, beautiful. And Pisces have pulled the Seven of Cups upright in their environment. There seems to be some overlap, okay, between the water signs and specifically Capricorn are sort of flowing through the readings for so many signs now. And so there's a focus on the emotional dimension. There's this presiding focus. It's like we cannot forsake the emotional dimension of whatever it is we're experiencing, of whatever it is that we're seeking to create, we're seeking to find. We understand that we find it by way of acknowledging that it's not just to be found within the third dimension, that it's not just to be understood and rationalized within the third dimension. And the bell is just going off and off and off and off for you, Sagittarius. It is so time. Okay, if there's something that you're like, is it time? It's time, baby. Like, it's time. Like, it's take the watch off. Like, we don't need that anymore. Okay, time is like not even ticking anymore. Like, the hand of the clock is just struck and remain. So much so that it's like beyond obvious to you, right? It's like, I'm hearing Pisces, and I'm hearing Cancer as well, and Sagittarius. There are so many bells and whistles. There are so many almost signs that are trying to get your attention, to come to the point of decision about whatever it is. I'm hearing this confounding cause, this confounding sort of, hearing of idealism, of emotional idealism, something to do with the emotional realm of feeling, I know that this emotionally satisfies me. I know that this doesn't. I know that this does it, and I know that this won't ever do it. Okay? And as I say that, right, the Seven of Cups just spun completely in reverse, facing me. Right? So it's like, it's no longer a question. Okay? No longer a question of trying to make sense of what it is that we understand. Right? Make sense only in the way of surrendering to the feeling of it. The feeling of what makes sense. So I'm getting that, right? Two of Swords. Pisces pulled this card as well. There's this, almost like this desire, and there perhaps has been this desire, like, I've got to figure it out very, very clearly before I take the action on it. No. Like, you're like, there's no sense to be had, right? This discourse is not even happening by way of language. I can't think myself through it. I can't speak my way through it. I can't write my way through it. I've got to just kind of go commando with it, right? It's like butterfly taken off, okay? Butterfly taken off. And there's a release. There's a release. I almost said Cancer, Pisces, Woman at the same time. They all want to be together here for you. Okay. And you've got here the Three of Cups. Upright. Three of Cups, water. Okay, and something about the three water signs is culminating here for you, Sagittarius. Okay, and there may be a discussion. Beautiful. Okay, Three of Cups. Overlaying the Fool upright, overlaying the Ace of Cups in reverse. Okay, Ace of Cups is mirroring the Three of Cups. Five of Pentacles in reverse, mirroring the Fool. You have the Four of Pentacles in reverse, mirroring the Ace of Cups. You have the Nine of Wands in reverse, mirroring the Five of Pentacles in reverse. You have the Seven of Pentacles upright, mirroring the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, now lots of Pentacles here, lots of Pentacles here. And Pisces pulled. Pisces had a peeking through of the Fool in their deck. Okay, as for Pisces, I was feeling that it was to come, right? Like to be continued. Once everything else got sorted out, to be continued. And it's similarly peeking out for you, but in a more, I'm hearing promising, prevalent way, and in such a way where, not promising in terms of, I'm hearing promissory, not in terms of if it's going to literally happen, but in terms of the focus that you're giving it right now. The focus on, I'm hearing the action, the mission of action, okay, to be taken. For Pisces, I was feeling that it was more a matter of almost understanding the steps prior to the action that fulfills itself, okay, by way of moving with the steps. Okay, I'm hearing, and now dancing. There was a theme of dancing for Pisces, but for you, I'm getting that you're like, I've got to make a total bang. Like, I cannot waltz on that stage. I am like fly into the audience, okay? And so I've got to focus on how I'm going to make this grand entrance. I've got to focus on what takes me there. I need to focus and put all of my effort towards the emotional sort of, I'm hearing promise. The delivery of emotions. That's my focus. That's my priority. That's what I'm honing in on. That's what I'm harnessing. My propensity to feel myself through this new beginning and to acknowledge what it is in a very personal way that will make it most satisfying for me to fulfill this hankering desire for an emotional renewal. There's a question of publicity, though, for you Sagittarius. A question of publicity. How do we go mainstream with it? How do I publicize it? There's a private part to it, and there's a public part to it. Right? There's like a question of how you feel connected to what you do in a public way, and how what you do publicly affects how you feel intimately, personally, privately, right? On your downtime, okay, your me time sort of thing. But the focus is on the public, absolutely the public, but without sacrificing, right? It's like we got to remember, we got 3 cups here, right, to be shared. But, and there's a question of how do we showcase that feeling, that flowing of emotions, of water energy, but how does it ultimately stand as the sort of emblem of emotional renewal for me as the individual of it, as the capacitator, right? The conductor of this new beginning. It's beautiful. You then have, right, 5 Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, in sequence, 5-4. The 9 of Wands, okay, in reverse, the 7 of Pentacles, 3 Pentacles cards here for you. Underpinning this new beginning, there is a question, and it's underpinning, right, this very strong emotional water energy. And, right, there may be an Aquarius involved as well, I'll say that. You have the Fool. Okay, but, right, underpinning this heavily emotional energy, right, even intuitive energy, okay, but also very youthful energy. You have this underpinning, okay, of question, of structure. What is the foundation for this new beginning in a very literal, tangible, physical way, right, in terms of manifestation, okay? And there's been a period of questioning that process of how I'm going to stabilize this new beginning, how I'm going to stabilize myself financially through this new beginning. And there's been this overlap, though, absolutely, between the sense of emotional satisfaction and financial, material, tangible sense of stability and satisfaction. Okay, so it's almost like your physical third-dimensional world sort of is very much related to the this new beginning, for one, and also how you are able to, how you feel through what you create in the third dimension, what you live by, and what you live by. Now, I'm hearing measures of purpose, okay, you want stability. I'm hearing Capricorn, Pisces for you. You want stability, Sagittarius, but you want what the way that you derive security and stability, and what the security means for you to take on a very purposeful, intentional meaning to it. Okay, you're like, I don't want to just create. I don't want to just stand on solid block, okay, of a massive land. I want whatever this is to be sacred. I want it to be sacred land. I want it to be special. I want it to have a touch, I'm hearing a touch of innocence, okay, however you take it. And I want it to ultimately be able to feed this sort of inner child in me that is compelled, I'm hearing, to grow beyond and outside of the confines of what it ever, right, felt defined it in any kind of way. There's a plea for self-discovery here, and you're recognizing, right, it's like what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Is it right, a matter of first just starting this new beginning, or is it a matter of first finding the lands that will help support this new beginning? But not just support it in the way that, right, it needs to be supported. And that may not just be support, that may be, right, just a sort of resonance, and that is the support, Sagittarius. It's not necessarily, right, how firm is the ground, I'm hearing how firm is the foothold, not something that will, like, keep you held down to the ground, right? It's like, after all, right, you are the fool. Right? You're a little baby chick, and you want to go and explore, right? So you want to discover, Okay, yourself through the process of this new beginning. It's not like I want to cement this new beginning into the ground. I don't want to tie my ankles to the branch. This is my branch, like forever. No, like I want, right? This is just the branch that I start off from. Okay, and so it's a question of simply where do I resonate with to make the most, to capacitate in a certain way, to establish this new beginning in a conceptual way and an energetic way especially. Okay, now let's get into the theme here. You have the Five of Swords upright. Pisces pulled this card. You have the Two of Cups upright. I believe it was Scorpio who pulled the Two of Cups. You have Justice in reverse, sitting right beneath this Two of Cups. You have Mother of Pentacles upright, mirroring the Two of Cups right beneath Justice. Okay, you have the Death card. This is Scorpio's card, sitting right beneath the Mother of Pentacles, mirroring Justice in reverse. Okay, you have the Mother of Cups sitting beneath the Death card. And it's very interesting because both birds, and they're both almost like waving, motioning off in the same sort of fashion. Okay, it's almost like a mirroring. Okay, and you have here the Ten of Cups in reverse. So there is a rebuilding of a dream, absolutely. Okay, you have the Star as well, right beneath this Ten of Cups, and the World in reverse, right beneath this Star, and the High Priestess, right beneath the World. There is a dream, not just a dream, Sagittarius, not just a dream, but it's a hankering knowing of a almost compulsion, okay, to experience something much greater, much more, something that holds meaning in a language that is unspoken. Right? It's like I can say these words. It's like this, right? You know, there are like so many different languages. Like you could say the same phrase, you could translate it in a certain language, and it just doesn't have the same feeling, right? It's like that, Sagittarius. It's like I know that my dream, so to speak, metaphorically, is not just, right, take it as you will, of course, to be spoken in the language of hearing, of learning for a number of you. Not just to be spoken in a language at all, okay? Because if I talk about it, if I explain it in a certain language, okay, it almost dilutes the meaning that it holds and the authenticity of the intention of why I'm sharing the language. So, okay, there's a question of not a question, but a knowing, okay, that we are seeking something much, much greater, okay, much greater, and we are being called upon to transform, okay, the ways in which we've perceived how we would bring it full circle, okay, absolutely, and there's a process of transformation, okay, that questions certain rights from certain wrongs. I'm getting that for a number of you as you may perceive it, as you may feel it. And it's almost like I'm hearing you've got to pay your dues. You've got to pay your dues as it pertains to your schedule, right? It's like I've got to maintain my focus on coming to terms with, on my own terms, what and why I am compelled, okay, what I'm compelled to do and why I'm compelled to do it. Why I feel this need. Why do I feel this need? Okay, to seek more, to continue digging more deeply into what it is that, right, yes, will bring me a sense of stability. Okay, yes, right, that ultimately, right, this, whatever this, I don't want to even call it a dream. It's like a soul calling, Sagittarius. It's like it's something that you cannot even. It's not that you've imagined in concept what it is that you see coming. You just feel something coming, and So whatever it is, you understand that it will ultimately bring you to a place of, as you may feel it, security and stability in terms of independence, okay, specifically. And because it would mean you following, right, your intuition, okay, that is ultimately what capacitates this feeling of stability as you feel it. Once the cycle comes full circle. Now, there is absolutely a pivotal point of transformation in this, okay? And while I'm getting that there's a coming to terms with a certain situation that has in a certain way perhaps confounded us, okay? Confounded us as it pertains to matters of a certain relationship, love, partnership, emotional satisfaction, how we've entertained certain, emotional engagements, okay? Emotionally based engagements. There's a question of, right, in the grander scheme of things, right, does participating in this act or in this environment, even this emotional landscape, serve me, serve my sense of true stability? And furthermore, doubling over, does it support my transformation of character? Not only character, but the transformation of how I play the role as the character of what I'm creating. That is inherently transformational. That is otherworldly, as I'm hearing for a number of you. That defies any time, space. I'm hearing conventionalism, any I'm hearing proportions, okay, of time and space, of understanding. It's anomalous. I was a Pisces and Scorpio at the same time, Sagittarius. Right? It's like, I'm here, I keep hearing, I've got to pay my dues, okay, and I'm specifically focusing here on this Mother of Pentacles as I say that. So there is, it seems, some sort of impending sense of responsibility that is a focus here for you that is, again, mirroring the Two of Cups upright, Justice in reverse in the middle. There's a question of, right, how are the partnerships that I'm contributing to feeding, really, right, this, in a way, the stability, okay, of my overall endeavors, and how does it, in a certain way, separate, right, my cause from I'm hearing my call, my cause from my call from my action, my cause from my action. So am I acting in the ways that I am feeling, right? Speak to me and who I really am, and that's my very personal philosophy, and it's what tumbles you into this place of transformation the moment that you recognize that what brings you closer to yourself, what gives you the stability of self, not because right then you're stagnant and you're stable to a point of not being able to move, right, immovable, but to a point of feeling right, whole in such a way where I feel it's time to transform, right? I've completed the cycle in the cocoon, right? There's a completeness. With a completeness, there is a certain sense of stability, right? But that leads me to a point of strength, stability, that's compelled to take on change. Okay, it's very interesting, very, very, very interesting, Sagittarius. And right, I'm hearing it. It leaves no end. It leaves no end. Whatever this this it's like a pinprick. Okay, it's like this prodding pinprick, right? And I'm getting, it's almost like the hand on a clock, right? The ticking of time, as we said, was sort of coming through here with the Two of Swords and the ringing of the bell. It's like this. It's like the time is now. It's like what is it A, B, or C, right? And when in doubt, the answer is always. So you're coming down to that. What your answer is always. That's kind of what I'm feeling for you. And there's no right, because you're recognizing underpinning this whole experience outside of even both, right? Whatever I feel stabilizes me in a certain way. Whatever I feel is a sort of, I'm hearing the passage of time, is pleasurable in a certain way. I realize that beneath it all, beneath all the rubble, okay, I'm hearing the periphery of the experience is the nucleus of why I am experiencing it all to begin with. In all of the ways that the experience experiences me. So how am I living through my world, and what does that mean for me in terms of, right, my understanding of it, my translation of it, and my admittance to where that leads me even further and deeper into myself. Okay, I'm hearing of knowing. So, and it's very interesting you have here, as I've laid this Nine of Wands out, 3 moons, and literally the moon card, the Sun of Pentacles with the moon atop it, and this moon that sits just at the apex of this Nine of Wands staircase, the Nine of Wands card. 3 moons in triangular fashion. There is this focus, I'm hearing on premonition, this focus on intuition, and that is your guiding force, but in a way where, right, yet again, it propels you deeply into the sort of, I'm hearing, to the onset of this change, which leads you to the very beginning of enacting it. Okay, so there's a conceptualism to it, and there's an active, very active, participatory sort of element to it that I'm getting is what we see in the Six of Wands, right? With this sort of release and this, what is the word? I'm looking for a specific word. This, okay, it starts with an E. It's like not an extension, but it's like a release of some kind of release. But again, we're back in just to not even, right, make sense of defining what it is, right? So okay, so I am a Pisces sun, Sagittarius moon. So I'm feeling it. I'm like feeling myself through the reading. Okay, but there is a focus. There is a focus on what is the movement, what is the change, and right, what does it mean for me as the one who capacitates it? What does it mean in terms of how I perceive it? And right, it's like, what sort of schema am I abiding by as I just simply experience and flow through the motions, through the waves of the experience? Okay, so there's this sort of setting down of waves, but there's this confrontation with right, this sort of mold. I'm hearing the mold of thinking, the mold, I'm hearing the on-site, I'm hearing the spectacle, how we perceive the way we flow. Right? It's like Mother of Swords is standing almost on guard, right? And the two lovers on the lover's card are confronted, right, faced by this Mother of Swords as they complete their course of flight. Again, both bird, right, illustrations that we see here. But it's like in the midst of release, in the midst of flying, okay, and lots of themes of flight here for you, there's this coming to terms with, like, right, you're at TSA. You're at TSA here. That's what, like, the feeling that I'm getting. Coming to terms with the terms, okay, of this transformation as you've perceived it. So it's almost like I've got to make my way through myself, through perhaps this propensity of myself to think and to rationalize and to analyze what is otherwise a course and a process of just simply release. Okay, and suspension, I'm hearing. So where the Mother of Swords remains fixed, okay, it's almost like a placeholder. It's almost like emblematic, right? It's almost like not even real in a certain way, depending on how you view reality, but it's almost like there just because. Okay, it's there not to stop you, but it's there just because, and it's a matter of how you make it through this course, right? It's almost like, yeah, it's like a maze, like an obstacle course, and it's like, well, how do you perceive it? How do you literally perceive it? How do you perceive what you perceive and how you perceive it, what you're doing? And so it's almost like a test. I'm hearing it's a test of strength, and it's This could be, right, your very own propensity, Mother of Swords, or an individual who may have caused a sort of lots of thinking about what it is that you may be just otherwise feeling and doing. So there is this final sort of, perhaps in a conceptual way, right, presentation of what is it that I'm doing, right, and this compulsion to sort of see what you're doing, and you're being beckoned, right, to remember why you're doing it, not because you know why you're doing it, but yet again, because, right, it speaks to a place that no one has found yet. It speaks to the places that you go, the moment that you accept that they are to be discovered, Sagittarius. And it's just such an exciting feeling, such a thrilling feeling. And I hope that, right, this reading was helpful for you. Okay, and there may be a lot of moving parts here for you, Sagittarius, as you right, sort of release from this point, okay, and there may be lots of literal things for you to work through and move through, bits of information. So I'm hearing busy mind, and again, sticky fingers. So there may be as well some sort of move translocation for a number of you, and right, so it's like something about tape. So, but as you make your way through this course, Sagittarius, you're making your way through everything that you realize was never really in your way, right? Like all the red tape, right? It's not like a wall, it's just tape, and it's placed there for a reason. What you may have deemed to be a reason, perhaps, or depending on how you resonate with this. But you're recognizing, Sagittarius, it's like, that was tape. And I can just as easily pull it down and off from the place that I taped it to. Just recognizing how impermanent it is. Just how much it's in my hands to accept. I'm hearing the challenge, I'm hearing the force, to accept this point of release, especially from I'm hearing the perceptions, okay, of it. So moving from a place of defining our actions, from a place of defining, labeling in a certain way, perhaps, what it is that we feel compelled to do, right? There's this recognition that it's up to me. It's up to me. And I'm splitting the deck here. Two of Cups, okay, and the Nine of Pentacles. A question of what brings me emotional stability and satisfaction, not just for the sheer moment, but that which carries me yet again into these cycles, okay, of manifestation that no wrongs and no rights. It's like, it's not about choosing the path that is right? Because that is the right path, and that will always be the right path. It's like the path towards my right is fluid, okay, and is to be discovered and discerned in every moment and experiencing of it. And to do that, I must redefine in a certain way how I perceive matters of security, stability, how I pursue matters of security and stability. And again, what path will lead me to the ultimate rediscovery of self? So translocation may be a focus here for you, right? Literal moving physical location, but there's a transformation of ideals as well here, strongly on the table. And so it's a matter, though, of the transformation of self to a place that, yet again, is stable, but leaves the room for growth, okay, and rediscovery of the self. So thank you so very much again, Sagittarius, for tuning into your reading. I hope this reading was helpful for you, and I highly recommend you to tune into your rising, ascendant, or moon sign as well. Also, I've been getting some emails, questions about whether or not I do personal readings, and I do. I have several services on my site, Alchemy, and you can check the website out. I've got the link in the description box below. I do full-length astrology reports, about 9 to 13 pages, and the approach that I take with that is strongly elemental. So I'll look at the different placements in your chart, your birth chart, and assessing various propensities seen by way of the houses, the planets, and the interaction of the varying points of your blueprint. So if that's of interest to you, specifically in terms of career, soul path, calling, okay, that may be something that you want to take a deeper dive with. So if that is something of interest to you, link in the bio box below. Otherwise, I also do personal readings. Yes, you can check that out as well on my website, Alchemy and You. Alright, otherwise, thank you so very much, Sagittarius. Have a beautiful rest of September, and I'll see you soon. Bye.